Hi crafty friends, welcome to my channel Malinka Yarn Crafts and thank you for joining me. I am Alicia and in today's tutorial I will show you how to make the Roxborough headband. This headband is worked from the middle of a hair elastic to give you a comfortable stretch. The pattern features the Trinity Stitch, which has a beautiful definition and a great texture. It is part of my Roxborough series of patterns designed around this Trinity Stitch. So make sure to check out my other tutorials and subscribe to my channel to receive notifications of my future releases. The tutorial will show you how to customize the headband to any size. However, if you prefer written instructions, a printable PDF version of this pattern is available to purchase for a small fee in my Etsy and Ravelry shops. Enjoy! Okay, so today I am going to be making a headband. And for the headband, I have some Lion Brand Heartland yarn. It's a medium weight yarn. I have a 6mm hook. I have a hair tie, scissors, tapestry needle, stitch marker, and measuring tape. All right, let's talk about sizing. So you can make this in any size. You can make it longer, you can make it shorter, you can make it wider or narrower, so it really just depends on what you prefer and also the size of the person that you're making this for. And so this band is worked around a hair elastic, as you can see, and then we're going to crochet 2 halves starting from the elastic and out, and then we're going to sew the 2 halves together here in the middle. So how to decide how long each half needs to be? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to measure the circumference of the head of the person that you're making this headband for. So I measured myself, and so the total circumference of my head is 22 inches. So you want to measure basically in the area where you would normally wear a headband. So at around the back of your head, at the base of your neck, and around your forehead. And now we do know that the elastic will take some of the space out of the circumference. So it really depends on the elastic that you're going to use, on the hair tie you're going to use. So this one, if you set it down, the one that I'm using, this one measures 2 inches. And if you stretch it out, it measures approximately 4 inches. So what I prefer to do is take the average stretch. So that'll be approximately 3 inches here. Okay, so at rest it's 2 inches. If you stretch it out, it's 4 inches. So I'm going to take the average 3 inches here. And I'm going to subtract this from the total circumference. So I had 22 inches total, so minus 3. So I need to crochet a total of 19 inches. Since I have 2 halves here, so I need to split these 19 inches into 2. And so I will have 9.5 inches per side. Okay, so you have your hair tie here. You're going to crochet out 1 half and then the other half. And then these 2 sides are going to be sewed together. So you want to crochet total 9.5 inches here and 9.5 inches here. Okay, so if you have a person with a smaller head circumference, you're obviously going to have shorter halves here. If you would like to change the width of your hairband, you would just do fewer stitches. So this pattern requires an uneven number of stitches. So for this band I used 17 stitches on each side. If you prefer a narrow headband, you'll just do fewer stitches. So you can start at 13, 15, you can do 11. So as long as it is an uneven number. We're going to start by making a slip knot on the hook. Now grab your hair tie, insert your hook into the middle of the circle, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then slip stitch it. Now chain 1. This chain will not count as a stitch. I'm going to work this yarn tail into my stitches. So I'm going to pull it back here. Now we're going to work single crochets into the circle. 1, 2, 3. So just continue working single crochets into the middle of your hair tie here until you reach a total of 17 single crochets. Okay, so I have 17 stitches here, 17 single crochets, and this is going to be the right side of my work. So I'm going to mark it now with a stitch marker. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn. In row 2, we're going to single crochet in every stitch below. So single crochet in the first stitch and in all the other stitches. So you will have 17 single crochets again in row 2. Alright, I finished row 2 with 17 single crochets. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn again. And this is where we're going to start working our pattern of Trinity stitches. So we are on the right side of the work again. So for this row, for row 3, we're going to start with a single crochet in the first stitch. Now we're going to work 3 single crochets together, starting in the same space where we just did our single crochet. So insert your hook into the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the second stitch below, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert into the third stitch below, yarn over, pull up a loop. We have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Now chain 1 and repeat. So 3 single crochets together, starting in the same space as your last single crochet right here. So 1, 2, 3, crochet all 3 together, and then chain 1. Again, 3 single crochets together, starting in the same space as your last single crochet right there. 1, 2, 3, and pull through all 4 loops, chain 1. So continue working in this manner until you reach the last stitch in the row. Alright, so for this last 3 single crochet, we're going to finish it off. And here we will not chain 1. Instead, we're going to single crochet in the same space as the last one. right there. Okay, so we have a single crochet in the beginning of the row, and we have a single crochet at the end of the row. Then we have 3 single crochets together, followed by a chain 1. Okay, so we're just going to repeat the same pattern. Chain 1 and turn, single crochet in the first stitch, 3 single crochets together, and chain 1 until the end of the row. And then at the very last stitch, you're gonna skip that chain and you're just going to single crochet in the last stitch. All right, this is my last 3 single crochets together, no chain, and single crochet in the same space. And you're just going to repeat this pattern for all of the rows that I needed for this side. Okay, so I finished the first half of my band here, and my last row was on the wrong side of my work. The number of rows, the total number of rows here will depend on the measurement. So it will depend on the calculations that you will make before starting this headband. And so for my size, I needed approximately 9.5 inches for just this half of the headband. And this is approximately what I have here. So that's perfect for me. If your measurements come up to a shorter half or a longer, you're just going to continue working and just measure throughout until you reach the measurements that you need for this half. So now I'm going to flip this to the right side of my work right here, and we're going to start working on the other half. So we're going to flip this over upside down, and now we're going to work the same way on this side of the hair tie. So go ahead and start with your slip knot here on your hook, and the same way we worked the first half of the hairband, we're going to insert our hook in the middle of the hair tie here, yarn over and pull up a loop and slip stitch it. Now chain 1, and we're going to work again 17 single crochets into this hair tie. Again, I'm going to work this yarn end into my stitches, and I'm going to work my single crochets here for a total of 17. All right, and we're just going to continue the exact same way as on the other half. So for row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn and single crochet in every single stitch here. So 17 single crochets. All right, and row 3 is where we start working on our Trinity stitches. So single crochet in the first stitch, 3 single crochets together, starting in the same stitch as your first one. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and again 3 single crochets together, starting in the same stitch as your previous one. Chain 1, and continue until the end of the row. Okay, this is my last 3 single crochet together cluster. No chain here and a single crochet in that same stitch. And just continue working your Trinity stitches for the same amount of rows that you made on the first half of your band, or just keep measuring and make sure that they measure the exact same. So as you work up, just make sure that you have the same amount of rows, so you can just line them up. If you don't want to count your rows, you can just line them up and make sure you have the same length. All right, keep working on your stitches and I will meet you up here. All right, so I finished my second half here and I made sure that both halves are the same length. And then I cut the yarn and I left a really long end here because we're going to use this for sewing the 2 halves together. All right. Now with the right side up, we're going to fold 1/2 over the other so that our work is facing wrong side up now. Okay. Now we have to sew these 2 halves together, but in order to do so, we're going to offset the 2 halves slightly so that the right corner here of the top half lines up with the middle of the bottom half right there. Now we're going to fold this end to the back and we're going to fold this side to the front. Here we go. Again. So we're going to offset this to the middle, so the right corner of the top half is going to line up with the middle of the bottom half. You're going to fold the left end in to the back. We're going to fold this right end here to the front, just like so. And now we're going to sew through all 4 of these sides here. Okay, so you're going to grab your tapestry needle and you're going to thread that long tail that you left for sewing. And now we're going to sew these 4 sides together. Okay, and I just need to make sure that I grab all 4 of them. There we go. Here we go. Now I'm just going to secure my thread, my yarn here. All right, so now when you unfold it over to the right side. You have this cute little bow forming here in the front. Now all that's left to do is within your ends, and your headband is ready to go.